Whoa, who would have thought that this entire Russian attack will appear just in a gray zone with the help of the Ukrainian counteroffensive? Russians are still encircled in Kucherov Yar as they don't have any sort of the supplies. Probably they are drinking from the swamps or lakes or ponds under the constant fire coming like a hell from Ukrainian defenders. And the situation in the south is nothing good for Russians either, judging on those remarks left for us by Michael73, OSINT analytic, who actually makes those wonderful maps. Yeah, I might say that Russians still try to go on the south using multiple of the vectors they actually propel little taken fields by the cost of the hundreds lives every day, and they use their aviation plus artillery on Ukrainian positions, but we know that Ukraine has way less losses compared to Russians. And you know, guys, the video that I showed about this case, can I show it to you? I wonder. No, I cannot show. Well, I think I found a way of how to bypass censorship, at least with this photo, just to explain you what happened there. I hope it's okay for gods of YouTube. Well, one of the guys, yellow guy here, he left the positions and was exposed open. As his commanders say, they lost communication with the guy, they worry about him, so they launched the surveillance Mavic drone to search for his position, and he appeared to be walking just on the road where he met a couple of the red guys. And here is the advantage to be this yellow guy, because you know Russian, you know Ukrainian. Maybe English, like I do, yeah? But the thing that most of our guys, they speak Russian without accent, almost without accent. So those red guys, they thought that this guy is their pal since he speaks Russian, and for them this guy was a friendly one despite him wearing a Ukrainian uniform. You speak Russian, it means you are our dude. So they greeted each other, they went down the road, and our guy, he waited for the proper time to kaput those couple of the red guys. That's it. As stupid as it looks for Russians, they are absolutely in lack of coordination, and they cannot distinguish Ukrainian soldiers or Russian ones. Well, maybe they were sometimes for the sabotage operations Ukrainian uniform, maybe that is why it happened, but our guy did the proper job, so he cancelled those couple of the red guys. I have nothing against the real red guys, but those in cartoon, just a cartoon which I draw, they were cancelled, flatlined. The full not cartoon video you may check out on my channel on Telegram. The link is in the video description. And here I will just screenshot and post what I do and share it on Telegram just for people to laugh. And we have the geo-confirmation about this T-type of the crossroad, which gives us the idea that all of this area is in a gray zone. Russians were repelled almost fully, I would say. Well, they still attack here in those two villages in Poltavka, Ruzzian Yar, because logistics is better in this area for them. Here's just one more river, which is difficult for Russia. And by the way, they also have losses here, some of the armored vehicle in the same spot. Oh yeah, that's already told about the day before yesterday, 9 vehicles lost for Russia. So from this direction we have good news, but also we have the information and confirmation that Russia gathers so many forces to this region, and not only that they are preparing to outstanding attack this autumn. Something that we haven't seen since 2022. And those are not my speculations or something. The information unfortunately comes from reliable sources, from our commanders on the ground. They are aware of Russia accumulating their forces, and they will try to penetrate Ukrainian main defense line once again in Zoloty Kolodets, or maybe from this side, we'll see. I actually have it from this channel, Krieg, for sure, and this guy is for sure fighting for Ukraine on the front lines. He's been followed by main channels out there. Those are his photos. Yeah, he definitely serves for Ukrainian army. So he posted 8 hours ago that Russians did the largest regroupment of their forces since Kiev 2022 intervention. They have prepared a lot of forces and ready for the last final battle for the rest of Donetsk Oblast. We will again see the usage of the armored fighting vehicles columns, and it will be very bloody for both sides. Soon, he says. Later on, he added here that I have started my way as a soldier in April 2022 fighting in Slaviansk area north, and now after 3.6 years I am at the place with the same people, ironically. Well, nevertheless, I will do my best. I wish him luck. What else can I say as the guy who is not even in Ukraine but tries to review the situation in Ukraine? Yeah, sometimes I feel miserable. But I do what I can even to support my own mates fighting out there on the front lines. Like, for example, our drone operators, they had this car also from one of the volunteer foundations, but it is broken, and I send them substantial amount of money to repair. Maybe they're gonna buy a new car, so I started the fundraise on my Telegram channel. If you are interested, you can participate. I just shared their PayPal. It's not the volunteer organization or something. Those guys I know personally. We used to work together, then there was aviation. So yeah, this car didn't last for long, but I hope they'll repair it or they're gonna buy something new. Again, the link for my Telegram is in the video description below, and there is some post about this vehicle, but I think we already collected enough funds for it, at least with my transfer. I think we'll have enough. I think it will cover the cost, but they all the time need something, you know, fuel, military gear, maintenance of the car, and so on. And those who participated in donations, thank you guys very, very much. Yeah, that's my Telegram. There I share lots of the stuff, including frontline images. By the way, we're gonna review this one as well. And here's the small fundraise, but I think it's already closed. I need to ask tomorrow. Yeah, as you see, I help. We have community that helps, but I still feel miserable because our guys on the front lines, they sacrifice their health, their life, their everything for Ukraine. And in a way, we fight the Russian propaganda, but compared to what they do, it's nothing. And yeah, I promised you this video. I can see many of the vehicles, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. It seems like Russia already intensified their attacks using armored vehicles out there on the front lines. I haven't seen those kind of the metal strikes before. Metal, I mean, because after all, those are the armored vehicles. So one is hiding out there, and 3, yeah, totally 3 of the vehicles, probably 4 after all. And I see maybe here 1 more. So Russia attacks really, but Ukrainian drones are waiting for them, and those slow moving vehicles are usually easy targets for Ukrainian drone operators. Yeah, all of them were chased and stopped. I wonder where it happened. Even the wildfire you may see here in the forest, and the vehicle is stopped over here. Yeah, I'll try to find out where this attack of the Russian army happened. So far, they do not specify it here in the comments, which is very strange. In a comment, we have the 65th Mechanized Brigade crushed Russian armed group of MTLBs, APCs, and tank before they could even reach Ukrainian positions. 7 vehicles were destroyed and over 30 Russian troops eliminated. So 7 vehicles. Yeah, maybe there were even more vehicles, couple of midwaves. This is again coming to scenario of 2023, where Russia used multiple of those mechanized strikes, but now it's different. Ukraine has more drones, so absolutely there will be tremendous, way more losses for Russia in this case. This is absolutely unhinged. I don't have words why Russians are doing it once again. Gerasimov is simply without any sort of the new tactics which he could use in this war to propel faster, because they tried actually to offend with small groups, sabotage groups, but you saw what happened in Pokrovsk, Davydov direction. All of the Russian forces were either trapped or cut or kaputted. So basically the same scenario as in 2023, but as our guys reported, could be even on a larger scale as in 2022. Attempt for Russia to encircle Donbass entirely. Alright, and I know where this attack happened. It happened not far away from Robotyne village, southern part of Ukraine. Very interesting. I thought that Russia will concentrate their forces mainly on Pokrovsk, Davydov direction, but they also placed those at the very flat terrain area in Zaporizhia. Kind of stupid move, I would say, because everything out there is open. And let's go back to review the military map and think how they might do it. Deep State military map source, they don't have the update coming from this direction, but we have it from different source. Deep State usually gives information with some of the delay, like couple days is okay for them. They don't want to give the actual information coming. So how I see it, because Russia intensified strikes in Siversk, in northern part of Liman direction, also over here and not far away from Toretsk, I see this kind of the advancement of Russia. So they want to get Liman, advance from 2 of the sides to Slovyansk over here. It looks unreal because there is kind of the wide river Siversky Donets, which they should cross, and there are just 3 of the bridges which they could use, and they could be easily kaboomed. Here in Toretsk they advance, but just a little, you know. It seems like Ukraine has defense lines, and this assault is cut, so they need huge new breath, new reinforcements trying to perform this scenario to encircle this entire agglomeration of Ukrainian main defense cities: Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, Drushkivka, Konstantinovka. And our guy, I told you, he says that he is still in Slavyansk with his group of the forces, and probably they go on rotations or something. And what I want to say in general about the summer offensive, let's go back to May, 1st of May. Let's see how it was. Yeah, Russia advanced in many of the directions, like before and now. Yeah, they moved from Velivka, Novosilka. They took those fields, some of the villages. Here, some of the fields, like probably it's their biggest achievement, creating this huge bridgehead over here. They moved also a little over here, and in Liman towards Kupiansk, they moved a little. But in general, not a single town was taken by Russia, I would say, even this year. The last important town which they took was Vuhledar, and still it's kind of the small town, but it was important for defense of this region. And after Russians took Vuhledar, they moved to Kurakhove, Velika Novosilka, so it was possible for them to get this territory under control after Vuhledar. But it happened the last year, as far as I remember. At January 1st, Vuhledar was already taken under control, and even Kurakhove was mainly occupied the last year. So yeah, they didn't occupy. Even Toretsk is not fully occupied. Some of the streets are still in a gray zone. Russians are unable to propel there. And the same picture goes for Chasiv Yar. Yeah, some of the streets are still there in the gray zone. Crazy. That's, I would say, complete failure of the Russian summer offensive. But this autumn they may try to break initiative once again, attacking with the largest forces possible. And probably it's going to be the final major attack attempt done by Russian army for the next few years, could be. Without future mobilization, they will not be able to accumulate such a big number of the forces to attack with those major strikes again and again. So for sure, mobilization is needed for Russia, and I think they will announce it. It's my personal opinion that Putin will not stop, even if he needs to announce a mobilization. Guys, it's important for me to get your feedback. You know, I'm filming those videos for 3.5 years, almost every day. And I see that my views sometimes they decline, and compared to 2023, 2022, I don't have those huge views. Maybe I start to be annoying, or maybe the topic is not popular, you know, people tired of it. I don't know. So tell me in the comment section, why do you still watch me? Because I think if you watch me, you can type your comment and I'll try to read. Yeah, I have thousands of the comments sometimes, but I will try to read, especially under this video. And maybe your suggestion to improve the content, I don't know, trying some new things. I try to be as generous, as polite, and as honest with my audience as possible. Thanks again for your feedback. Okay, what I wonder about is the Kupiansk direction, and here we have the report about Russian flag in Moskovka. I wonder then we have this evidence report. Could it be one more Russian special flag operation? So it's the same area where Ukrainian local commander filmed the video. He went there with a pickup truck. He said, okay, Moskovka, which has the different name now, is under Ukrainian control, but now we see Russians there. Yeah, you can see it's the flag operation of the Russian army. It was posted later than a Ukrainian video, so it's the fresh one, dated 3 days ago. I wonder what is happening there right now. Whether they put flag for just this video and escape the scene, it could be like that. Or maybe they were kaboomed. And before it was like that, actually it's a way fresher video. Russians say that it was in June. That was in August, I think. The same crossroad, as you can see. So 2 Russian soldiers raised their flag in Moskovka. Well, 2 Russian soldiers doesn't mean that it is the occupation of entire settlement. No, it could be the small sabotage group. But Russians were spotted already in a Kupiansk town. Really, we have this evidence? Russians raised their flag. Again, flag operation or what? But this is settlement. I mean, the town itself, I would say city even, Kupensk, it's bigger than usual. It is on the tower here, on the tower. They put the flag on top of the tower with the help of the drone, that's it. And even here you see in the central part of Kupensk, oh my god. Yeah, here we go. For sure it's not the presence of the Russian army. That's the stupidity of the second army in the world. I wonder what they want to achieve with that. Just propaganda picture for the Russian TV, or maybe they really send this info to Putin that they took the central part of Kupensk under control. I mean, this is hilarious. Yeah, Russians already post those kind of the maps saying that they're in the central part of the city, which is not real. If you see this Russian with flag, it doesn't mean that it's the successful Russian army advancement. It's just the suicide mission for this lonely Russian soldier carrying the flag behind the front lines alone. Sometimes there are two of the people. Everything of that is just to make this stupid drone video and to post it, to share the success of the Russian army in Kupensk. For now, I see it like that and try to convince me otherwise. I don't see the real evidence of the presence of the huge amount of the Russian army, or at least some amount of the Russian army in Kupensk. Occasional flags, that's it. So here he shows for the drone, you see? And immediately he runs away because they're not controlling this area. But still, you know, this guy reached the central part of the city. In this case, not with the help of the drone. It was a difficult task, but how Russians offend to Pokrovsk the same way they go to Kupensk. Again, it tells that the front lines, they're very flexible and there are big holes in defense of Ukraine, unfortunately. But the same holes you may find in defense of Russia. That's why Ukraine sometimes is successful with the counterattacks. And look at this tower in Kupensk. No Russian soldier would dare to climb there, so of course it was the drone delivery of the flag. Oh my god, what happened there? Oh, that's the classical Russian flag operation. Kupensk, yeah. One of those which was taken by Ukraine as the trophy. That's what you need to know about the Russian fake attacks or flag attacks, I call them. And we have the comment from the deep state military map source. They have that Russians sometimes wear civilian clothes to go to Kupensk. And they say that it's not something new that Russian sabotage groups are presented in the northern part of Kupensk. It was happening already for a long time. It's not the actual advancement of the Russian forces. And you know what? Maybe this is the real name of the false flag operation. Maybe that is how it definitely looks like. Some statement from Zelensky about the situation on the front lines. He says that if Ukraine gives up territories to Russia, Russia will capture Dnipro and open the way to occupy Kharkiv. So Zelensky doesn't believe somehow to Putin that he will not keep his word and he will continue to escalate attacking more of the Ukrainian territories. By the way, I already told about the big military map in Gerasimov's office. Well, there they put Odessa and Mykolaiv regions as the part of the Russian Federation already. So never ever trust Russians. Their goal is just to get more territories to occupy Ukraine, as I tell you every time, almost in every of my video. But it is like that, and it's very strange that politicians across Atlantics, those who are now in power, they do not understand this easy stuff. Should we go to the frontline update? Why not? Because that is what we are doing here, right? Already for 3.5 freaking years. Let's go to the deep state because they have the analysis. Well, according to them, Russians advanced in many of the villages, but Ukraine also pushed Russians away in Tolstoy. So it was yesterday. It is today. This attack vector across this highway or the road was cancelled and Tolstoy gray area expanded just a little. Tolstoy liberated, actually, it was confirmed. Maybe even the last week we got this information. Russia in this direction is successful here in the south, but Ukraine is counterattacking in Zeleny High, Tolstoy and Dachne, so 3 of the points for attack. Well, there's the pocket I was concerned about near Kamar. There's Pridubova village, so it was yesterday, it is today. Advancement of the Russian army, they already touched this river Mokriyali fully. And I still wonder if there is the presence of the Ukrainian army here, because it looks like the pocket here for Ukrainians, but I'm not sure. I think that Russians just do not move to this place because of Ukrainian drone strikes, and we actually don't know what is happening in this territory. Maybe this is entirely gray area, maybe not, because those are just the fields. It's hard to confirm the Russian presence. Then they advanced to Alexandergrad. It was clear that there was the attack, but coloring it in red, I would put it under the question. But they have their presence in Myrna and Pidubna, it's 100%. What else? Malivka, that's the same direction actually. So it was yesterday, it is today in general, yeah. Ukrainian counterattack, Russians moved here and Russians moved here. Sichneva also the same area, as you may see, Malivka and where is Sichneva? Yanvarsky, but Sichneva, maybe there is the very small village. And we have Mirove. Mirove is Moskovka, yeah, I already told you about it. So Russians went there and they were spotted by drones. So this crossroads, two of the soldiers of the Russian army were detected. But it doesn't matter that they control this entire area or Mirna or Moskovka itself. As for the rest, you may see that there are no changes, for example, for Pokrovsk, no changes for already many days. Here in Konstantinovka direction, yeah, there is slight expansion of the gray area here, but no changes, dramatic changes, I would say, for many, many days. Maybe Russia is definitely accumulating forces for some sort of the major 2022-like strike on the Ukrainian army, trying to encircle main Ukrainian forces in Kramatorsk, Slavyansk. Well, honestly, I believe it, then I see it, but I don't think that something will go well for Russia in this case. I think that the outcome will be the same for them as in Kyiv, for example, in 2022. Then their convoy was absolutely demolished, and by the time there were not enough drones in Ukrainian army. FPV drones, drone drops, it was something really new. And now it's the full scale. So why do they attack with those convoys, armored vehicles? Maybe Russian army just wants to finish itself to announce a new mobilization. You know, we are in lack of the army, man. We lost everyone in those attacks. That's it. I don't think that there will be successful with this major strike here. I don't believe in it. Oh, we have the info that the last morning Ukrainian forces destroyed S-300 launchers and 9S radar from Buk Sam system near Orleshkivka. It is the occupied Zaporizhia region. So some of the wreckage here, yeah, definitely zoomed in image. Let's go like this. This could be the radar, or maybe this is the launcher. I think it's the launcher after all. Yeah, kind of the bad spot to hide, but in the southern Ukraine there are mostly fields and not many trees compared to the central or northern Ukraine. And you know what? I finally got the good satellite quality images from the avant-post of the Russian FSB not far away from Artemovsk, Crimea, which was hit probably by Flamingo missiles. Well, even Russians say that it could be a Flamingo. But it seems like Ukraine should work on precision of this missile, because we have this strike here. You see that there is the damage and this building is no-go, and the other missile hit nearby, so it's not so precise as I thought actually. But look at this hole, yeah, it's not very deep here at the beach, very close to the beach. Definitely it was Flamingo strike. Well, at least I think it is like that. And this is the evidence published yesterday showing that Ukraine is definitely using Flamingo missiles. This missile part, the tail part, empennage, with a couple of the fins which survived, was spotted not far away from Mariupol airport. It again landed nearby. It crashed into the field, burned the ground. Well, maybe Russians had some of the air defense there which was hit in this field, but I'm not sure. I don't have real evidence of that. Russians say that they've shut down this missile, which I think also is not correct, because it is usually shut down on the way, well before reaching airfield. Well, there is the small chance that after all they shut it down, but you see, Ukraine should work on precision of those Flamingo missiles. They're devastating, really powerful, but precision is not great, and here you can see the kaboom over there close to the airfield, but not at the airfield territory. Alright, we have the new update about the Russian refineries. Ukraine really went berserk mode in August, hitting 24.2% of the entire Russian refinery capabilities. This is unhinged. It has never been like that before. It is something really special, which even caused Putin to openly lie in China about Ukrainian strikes, that Russia had to respond on those, that Russia has never attacked Ukrainian energy infrastructure, which is the open lies. Russia attacked Ukraine since 2022. There were numerous of the blackouts. I was in Ukraine, I witnessed it and experienced it myself. So once again, we see the new evidence that we shouldn't trust to what Putin is saying. He is KGB liar. He is trained to do so. And Ukraine does absolutely awesome job with those refineries. Outstanding. An interesting thing happened with Azerbaijani MiG-29 fighter jets. Yes, this is the Azerbaijani MiG-29, which was, let's say, taken by Ukraine for the test flight. Let me tell you the whole story. So Ukraine has few of the maintenance facilities for those fighter jets. One of those is located in Lviv. So before the war had started in 2021, Azerbaijan sent 3 of their MiG-29 jets to Ukraine repair facilities, and Ukraine conducted routine maintenance on those airplanes with some of the upgrades. But later on the war had started and Ukrainian pilots flown those Azerbaijani airplanes out from the airfield by the time Russia launched the strike on the place. And later on they returned back. Those airplanes were staying out there because they're Azerbaijani for quite a while. But later on Ukraine decided, okay, why those airplanes are just staying there, let's paint them in those kind of the colors and fly, you know, just for test flights. How missiles are working, and the test flights are ongoing already for 3 years. Azerbaijani side is totally fine with that. After all, it's the real combat test of their jets. The only ones who are not okay with this stuff are the Russian military bloggers. They are saying about it as the betrayal and knife in the back from Azerbaijan. But you know, airplanes should fly. They shouldn't stay on the ground if they're airworthy, right? I'm sure that after all, Azerbaijan gave permission to use those fighter jets. Yeah, sorry for the watermark. It's kind of the good channel, by the way, Parapax. I suggest for you to check it out. It's the Telegram channel where I take those kind of the videos. They analyze everything, and this is the Lancet drone. Not the Russian one, but the Ukrainian. I don't know the name of it, but it looks almost exactly the same as Lancet. You can see Ukrainian marking, and there is the Russian vehicle with Z symbol over here, and here is one more vehicle with a dash cam we are watching this video from, and there is one more Z vehicle. This is not far away from Pervomaisk, Kherson Oblast, and you can see some of the Russian uniform here at the corner and Russian off-road vehicle, probably Toyota Land Cruiser or something like this. And yeah, it seems like the vehicle is at least damaged. Oh nice, Bayraktar is in operation. Russian boat was kaputted in Kherson region. As you may see, those birds continue to fly. I mean, Bayraktars, they're in the Ukrainian army, still many of those, and I see the operation of them very close to the front lines. And this is the geolocation, so I would say it's on the way to Crimea. This is the Kimbersky Spit. And Russians keep control over this entire territory, not always successfully, as you might see. There was also the Russian base with a couple of the buildings which were kaputted too. Kind of reminds me of the special ultra-mega operation conducted by the mighty United States Army in Caribbean Sea, which they hit allegedly a drug boat. And this was shared by MAGA, by White House, all of those officials really stating that America did their best in kaputting this small boat. But what about hundreds or maybe even thousands of other drug boats going to United States? Well, no one gives a about those ones. But this, yeah, we need to film and show because it's all about PR in Hollywood. Donald Trump is like this superhero who doesn't hesitate to use military power against those freaking small boats. Give Donnie the Medal of Hero of United States, if there is the one. But in fact, we understand that Donnie is unable to stop traffic into United States, of course. It is just the show for stupid MAGA, that's it. I wonder why did they use MQ Reaper instead of B-2 bombers. Then Ukraine does absolutely the same stuff. No one even retweets that except some of the military guys and influencers like me. You don't need to have an American-sized army to kaput those small boats. Just some special tools for that. That's it. Wow, guys, we have this new information that changes everything for Russia. It seems like Russian or Putin's visit to China was not that successful as I thought before and as I stated in my previous video. We have now the new information coming from the Wall Street Journal saying that Chinese don't know anything about Silasibiri 2 pipeline, which allegedly, according to the Russian officials, they signed. They do not comment anything of that. What Chinese side stated that they are interested for this future project, interested for the possible development. They agreed to use Sila Siberia 1, which has already been built. They signed the papers to pump more gas, but it's not this huge new line Sila Siberia 2, which allegedly by Russians was agreed by China as the major project to be built very soon. Moreover, Russians referred to China that everything is okay, like they want to invest in this construction. They even want to expedite it to build in a few years. But it's not even close like that. There is no confirmation from Beijing coming about this one. Meanwhile, the head of Gazprom, Alexei Miller, said that it was signed, but China says no. Putin himself confirmed words of Miller that they're gonna build Sila Siberia 2 very soon. We have finally reached consensus with the Russian side, he stated. But Chinese gas corporation CNPC said that no. They cannot confirm what they signed. They were just saying about cooperation in the infrastructure sector and energy. That's it. They do not specify anything, so maybe they're calm about it. Yeah, there are two ways. They're calm or they haven't signed anything. But the same company confirmed that they will pump more gas through Sila Siberia existing pipeline, Sila Siberia 1. In this case, it's the fiasco for Russia because only Sila Siberia 2 may compensate Russian losses of the European markets. And Gazprom company will continue to dive down because they have huge debts. It's the government corporation, the biggest gas company in Russia, but it has tremendous debts. And there is no way it can handle it without building this pipeline. So I was maybe too much optimistic with this Russian visit to China, but after all, China has its own interests, and maybe they don't want to be so dependent on Russia with Sila Siberia 2, but it's the Russian interest to build it. Interesting now, and it's kind of good. That's the Russian soldier. Definitely looks like almost real. I've took it from the Belarus opposition source next, and definitely looks interesting of how Russian soldiers say goodbye to their family members and go to heaven. Well, that's the flop, and that's the reality. No waving? Why? What happened? Usual Russian thug life. They have enormous of those videos, really, and this feature is really popular because it's kind of cheap, and there are many of their relatives who would like to have those kind of the videos with their military army men who were stupid enough to sign the contract with the Russian army. Yeah, they got what they deserved, I would say. And guys, please check out my channel for more videos. I film regularly there, and this video 6 hours ago, yeah, not many people are willing to watch it, because maybe it's not the frontline update, but I attached really important topic. I don't know why it's not interesting. Maybe frontlines, you see, more people watch than usual blah 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 about Trump, for example. Yeah, so people like frontline updates more, I guess. After all, I think it's the main topic of my channel since I started to film about Ukraine front lines. But I'll touch every sort of the aspect of the war, politics, news and everything, because yeah, that is what I want to do on this channel. Guys, if you want to support the job that I do here, you may check out my Patreon. Honestly, I don't have enough time to upload specific and unique content on Patreon nowadays, but I'll try to change it. So if you're looking for some uniqueness, it's better not to go there. But if you want just to support my job with your donation, you may go for it. After all, with that, you keep me running, so thank you so much for that. And my friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.